All right, Technique Tuesday for this week, we're going to talk about the front rack position. So front rack position is used for quite a number of movements, especially within Olympic lifting. You know, your front squat with the bar there, you will clean any variation of the clean, power clean, squat clean, and you'll also press from there. Even though the press and the clean and the front squat, front rack position are slightly differently, they still have the same mobility requirements. So it's a fairly uncomfortable, unnatural position for people to get the bar into when they first start. And a couple of common complaints, like I get sore wrists, sore elbows, sore shoulders when I put the bar in that position, usually stem from a lack of mobility to get it into that position. So what we're going to go through today is we're just going to go through exactly where you want the bar to be. We'll give you a quick wrist warm up at the end of the video, but then that's going to also start a series of videos that we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, where we're going to just explore some quick mobility techniques that will not only help you with your front rack mobility, but also help you with that overhead position as well. So if I'm taking the bar in and out of the rack for my front rack, if I'm doing a front squat, I'm going to set my shoulders underneath the bar and then drive those elbows up nice and high. I want that bar sitting basically right up in my throat, and I want to try and get those elbows nice and high. For me, I don't have the best front rack position, so I'll actually loosen off my grip on the bar in order to try and get my elbows up there. But the premise remains the same, where if I take my hands away, that bar hasn't moved off my delt, so it's still sitting right up there in my throat. To get my hands back underneath there, that's an entirely different story, but you get the idea on where we want it sitting. So generally we find a lot of people, when they first do this, they can't even get their elbows past underneath the bar, and they struggle to really create that shelf with their delts. So one really quick warm up, one really quick movement you can do to start to get that position warm, whether you're doing a front squat or you're doing some lifts, is get the bar up onto your shoulders. And what you want to do is maintain a full grip on the bar, so not letting that bar loosen off into your hands at any point, and then get that bar in contact with both those delts. Even though my elbows aren't high, I've still got that full grip, bar parallel with the ground. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drive one side up, try and get it as high as I can, try and maintain that full grip there, bring it back down, and then I'm going to do the other side as well. I'm just going to move from one side to the other. I'm going to aim for 5 times each side. What I want to try and eliminate when I do it is I want to try and eliminate moving the bar off both those delts when I do it, and not having it parallel with the ground. So keeping it parallel with the ground and really try and drive those elbows up, one each side, nice and controlled. Breathe out, push that end range of motion, and then you should find that after doing that, 5 to 10 times each side, it'll improve that front rack position just slightly. Not going to improve it a whole heap, but it'll improve it just slightly. So if you do that every time you warm up, it'll go a long way to help starting to get everything loosened off there. From there, or before you do that, another really good wrist warm up that we generally do in our normal warm up, if you come around here, we'll take you through it. So if I'm just going to be on all fours to start off with, I'm going to have my hands underneath my shoulders and get those fingers splayed out. And then all I'm going to do to start off with, keeping those elbows locked, just some rotations, 10 in, 10 out. Okay, try and maintain good posture while you do that. Okay, so we go 10 in, 10 out. Once I've done that, I'm going to turn. I'm going to try and get my index finger pointed back towards my quad. Again, I want to try and keep my elbows locked, keeping the heel of my hand on the ground, and then I'm going to rock back and forwards, trying to not let my heel of the hand come off. If I can't get my hands back there, and I can only say get to here, get as much range of motion as you can, and then don't have to add any momentum to it, but if you can, add that momentum, 10 back, 10 forwards. Then from there, we're going to turn. This one's going to be quite difficult for a lot of people. We're actually going to place the back of our hands on the ground. We want to keep those elbows locked. We want to go both sides. Now, if we can get both of the hands on the ground, we're going to rock back and forwards. But if we can't, and a lot of you will be like this and not actually be able to straighten out those elbows, and if you are, I just want you to try and work to the range of motion you can. Don't add movement if you can't get it locked out and can't get that full position. But again, 10 forward, 10 back there, then we'll go forward again, and then we'll go 10 forward, 10 back. So a good little warm-up routine when you're moving to the bar. Start off with that wrist warm-up, then start off with that front rack warm-up. Remember, full grip, bar across both delts, and really driving those elbows up as high as you can. Now, one thing I will point out is this isn't the be-all and end-all to get you the best front rack position in the world when you're doing your lifting. Everyone's going to be slightly different, and everybody, when they do that stretch, is going to feel potential tightness in different areas. You might feel it in your triceps, you might feel it in your lats, you know, you might even feel it in your chest or your traps. It's going to be different for everybody. So everybody's going to have different limiting factors. So as always, as we always say with this type of stuff, this is very broad and general advice and stuff that will help most people. However, the best way to work out what you need to do is to go and see a coach and see somebody who knows what they're talking about to give you a specific prescription for you. Now, next week, we're going to go through a couple more movements. We're going to go through some lacrosse ball techniques to take you through how to release your pecs and how to release your scaps. And then the week after, we're going to go through some banded stretches. Both of those videos, while they're going to be separate videos to this one, all those techniques are going to be really good techniques that will help you improve this front rack position. Hope that helps. If you've got any questions, hit us up. We'll see you soon. Bye.